LaExcellence IAS Academy. Bharath C Yaram.
So now it is officially afternoon. Good afternoon. So how's it going? So I am not a new face anymore. I've been in LaExcellence library since past 2 to 3 years. Whenever since the time I have come to Bangalore, I've been in LaExcellence library. So I'm not very much a new face, and you can talk to me freely, just like you talk to your friends in the coffee break or some other place. And Nagendra sir must have told the things yesterday. So all the toppers will be saying the same thing, like you should be solving the MCQs and all. But I'll be telling what I have done and what have worked for me. So what I think is most important is scheduling, the daily scheduling that I used to do. Like if it is far away from prelims, then I used to give concentration towards mains answer writing, because ultimately it is the answer writing that gives us rank. So I used to keep around 1 hour either to answer writing or to solve the MCQs. How do you solve the MCQs? And some random questions or what? So for that, you can take the booklets containing the topic-wise MCQs. Whenever you complete the required syllabus, you solve the questions based on the topics that you have gone through. And if you feel confident about solving MCQs, then you can go ahead with solving the mains answer writing questions. You can get the number of questions from number of websites, or you can also get booklets from various institutes. For example, LaExcellence also has the MCQs based on, the mains questions based on the topics which you are solving. And also to bring dynamism to answer writing. Once you are done with answer writing on the questions based on the static topic, then you have to bring in the dynamism. That is, you have to think there, because if you are studying art and culture, if the question is on temple architecture, it is static. Either you know or you don't know. But when it is dynamic, like for example, if it's current affairs, it will be more of interconnecting. There you have to think about various aspects, various dimensions. So how do you build that answer writing? So what I suggest, if you haven't started yet, keep one day specific for reviewing the topper's answer copy, because you should get the direction in which you should be moving. You shouldn't commit all the mistakes and then you shouldn't come to the right path. Better look at the topper's answer copy, how they are writing. Try to think in the manner how they are thinking, how they are bringing various types of concept, because our knowledge is very limited. Whether it may be myself or the people who are not in the list or in the top of the list, our knowledge is simple, but we are gambling with the limited knowledge, just interlinking the topics and understanding the syllabus and trying to interlink between the papers. And one thing I wanted to convey properly, that when you are studying GS 1, 2, 3 and 4, though they are under different topics, you should be, for the initial stages, you can study it as part wise, but later it should become paper neutral. What is paper neutral? The knowledge which can be used across the papers. For example, if you are getting a good quote which can be used in economics, that can also be very well used in the GS1, because in society it is the culmination of all the aspects of the life. It may include the society, the international relations. So if you get a good quote, make sure it is a multi-use quote. If you are remembering a data, make sure that it can be used in various other forms. For example, I used to remember one article for lower house, upper house. For example, article 79, it says president and lower house and upper house. So in polity, we have to write an article. So I can't remember, because that was the initial days of preparation. I remember article 79. There I can mention it is bicameralism, and I can mention the Rajya Sabha, that it should be there. So when you are struggling with the facts, you can go with this aspect. And for anthropology, I am very much surprised that only 3 hands are raised. It is said that IAS is Indian Anthropology Service, but surprisingly. So who is in majority? PSIR? How many have taken PSIR optional? Nobody has taken optional itself. Nobody has selected optional yet. Sociology. How many have taken sociology? ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು sociology optional ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿ. Obre? Okay, anthropology is better optional then. Andre, you haven't decided optional yet. Okay, so in that scenario, uh, you can make the choice based on the current performances of the optionals, because in some optionals the probability of getting really good scores are limited, and among the good performing or well performing optionals, go through the syllabus and try to read one or two chapters from each subject, and try to understand what are your interests, because anthropology is very much different from political science, and majority of these concepts can be used in the general studies as well, PSIR, sociology, anthropology. So go through the syllabus, understand what is your interest, because it should be sustainable. In the questions, for example, in sociology and anthropology, the earlier trends were direct question and answers, but now they are delving deeper into the interlinking of the concepts. For that, you should not just be reading the source material, but also you should be doing something else rather than sticking to the notes which you are doing. For anthropology per se, I would refer the Ember and Ember book. You read it once, make notes, collect example. Anthropology is majorly about writing relevant examples, quoting relevant case studies, and making sure that the books, the authors, the theories, they are right in the place. And I don't know much about the other optionals. So if you are taking anthropology, study once, revise once, and then make short notes of books, authors, definitions, because they are the backbone of anthropology per se. And anything in particular you wanted to ask with regard to the preparation? At what stage of preparation you are currently in? Okay, around 50 days is left for the prelims. So my mantra for prelims or mains is maximum revisions and also solving tests. If I say it should be 75% and 25%. If you're reading 75% of time, 25% of time must be given to solving the MCQs. And the revisions must be happening in such a manner that if you are reading three topics in single day, from morning to afternoon you should complete the general studies part, and afternoon to evening what I used to do is current affairs part, and from evening I used to do the current affairs of that day. From 2 to 5 I used to do magazines, and 5 to 6 or some other time I used to do that day current affairs, and 1 hour I used to keep for answer writing or MCQ solving. Since the prelims is very much near, I don't delve into writing mains answer writing, so I used to keep for that. And now, since now there is 50 days of time, you should have multiple revisions. So but by the end of the day you should keep one hour to revise what you have read in that day, and horizontally dividing the days. In 50 days you must be completing based on your the speed. At least 3 to 4 times you can cover the syllabus, and the last one you should be taking much more than few days, quite a few days, because in the initial reading you may take more number of time. In the next reading it will not take that much of time. For example, if it is 10 days, next time it should be 7 days, and by the end you should be able to recall the concept just by seeing the indexes. Just see the index and try to recall what all you remember, and go back to the topic. And if you're not able to recall some points, then that is the loophole that you have to cover. Read that and you won't be committing any mistakes as such. So if you are giving me 50 days based on my speed, I would keep around 20 days for first revision, then 12 to 13 days for second revision. Then I go I'm back to back reducing the number of days, and I make sure that last 2 days I revise complete syllabus. I mean, not going word by word. At least I go through the indexes so that I gain confidence and I gain interconnectivity. Because UPSC is not majorly factual; they are analytical. You should be able to analyze the things. For that, you need that connectivity. So keep revising daily schedule and horizontal schedule. Since it is 50 days, 3 or 4, last 2 days revise, and before going to exam hall, what I used to do is solve the at least 20 to 30 questions outside the exam hall, so that your brain gets activated, and when you go inside, it will be your 31st question, so you will be able to think much better than what you used to do in the first question that I used to do for mains as well as the prelims. So that will be helping. Okay, how do we attempt the paper? So I go by a round wise. Firstly, I'll do whatever I know perfectly, and also in the initial reading, I'll eliminate the options which seems very much wrong, because in second reading you should be giving same amount of time. You won't be left with that much of time. If option A is wrong, then I'll check it off. 3 options are left, so I come back again. So in this process, if you are getting 35 to 40, it's also good if you are getting 30 to 35, 100% right, you should feel confident. Then you go to the options where you have come to 50%, then 1 by 3. So my suggestion is 80 to 85 is a good attempt. That depends upon your accuracy, and accuracy improves with revision and solving the number of varied types of MCQs, because solving MCQs is an intuition, and nobody knows probably more than 50 questions. Everybody is guessing after 50th question, if it is factual, even if it is analytical. So solve as many MCQs as possible to gain that intuition in MCQs. And with respect to CSAT, you should be asking question on that. Last year CSAT was difficult, so you shouldn't be ignoring. Though you are from engineering background, IIT background, or IIM background, CSAT grounds everyone equally. So keep 1 hour or 1.5 hour doing, not reading mathematics, doing mathematics. Okay. Understand. Take one topic per day. Make a list of formulas that are associated with that, and try to use the formulas in various formats possible. You shouldn't be doing similar problems with different numbers. If it is speed and time, then it should cover converting time to speed, speed to time, acceleration. So different aspects it should be covering. Then your understanding of the topic will be holistic. So one kind of problem, 2 to 3 questions you solve, and go to various types of problems within one topic. And reading comprehension, that improves by reading newspaper or solving the MCQs, test series MCQs. I prefer going to test series MCQs because it is exam oriented. You can get to know why the options go wrong, how the options go wrong. So try to collect as many reading comprehension questions as possible. And given the less number of time, shortlist around 10 to 12 major topics from which the CSAT questions are recurrently occurring, permutations or combinations, this kind of probability, these kind of questions, and solve as many questions as possible. Because in CSAT it's almost last year I solved around 51 question. Previously probably it was around 58 or 59. So around 30 questions we are going to leave. So the wise people leave it early. That is, you shouldn't be spending time on the questions anyways you are not going to get answer. For me, if it is the question starts with 2 red balls, 3 green balls, it's not my question. Just go to next question. If I am left with time, I come back, see if it is in my ability, I'll be solving it. So in CSAT it is always about leaving the hard questions and reading 80th till the 80th question. So there will be some easy questions, solving that we will be able to get through the 66.67. This year the reading comprehensions were easy. Previous year reading comprehensions were ambiguous. So people thought that they will be doing mathematics and leave reading comprehension. But this time reading comprehensions were the lifesaver. Many of the people got through This majorly because of reading comprehension. Maths was really difficult. So don't make bias or now don't make judgment that I'll be doing reading comprehension, nothing like that. You can make a strategy like I'll keep certain number of time to do reading comprehension. I'll do mathematics, that you can do. But see 80, all 80 questions. There will be easy questions, do solve them. There are certain topics which are recurrent or overlapping between the prelims and mains. For example, the art and culture, the history, the modern history, etc. There the residual knowledge will be helping you, but there are certain topics which won't be recurrent. For example, the disaster management, ethics, etc. So what I suggest to the people is if you are giving prelims in next year June, then your optional subject as well as the extra topic should be covered by December. Don't be scared if you haven't covered, but that's the ideal approach. And gradually I start reducing the time that is given to the mains. If I'm doing my mains topic till December, I won't leave writing answers, because answer writing is a skill. If you leave it for continuously for a few weeks, you won't be able to write such good answers. So I suggest that till last month or last 45 days, you continuously write as many answers as possible, and not just writing, review it, make a friend circle, make a peer group, and it's also better if you download the toppers copy from internet, see the questions, write your answer, compare with the toppers, how they are writing, then improve, because it doesn't yield any positive outcomes if you're doing the same mistakes again and again and you don't improve. And utilizing the full year, last 3 months, I used to keep around 4 to 5 months, because I was very much scared of prelims, and it is scary to me now too. I used to keep 4 to 5 months. Few questions I used to do daily basis, and between prelims and mains, as usual, that will be most hectic part of mains. You should be writing continuously for 1 hour per day. That is half an hour for GS and half an hour for my anthropology, that is optional. And for interview, I don't think there is no much preparation that is required. That's almost a personality check. How the personality is being checked based on your how you express your knowledge, how much very well read you are. That is, the character is defined by how many perspectives you are able to bring through. So you may have to go through few magazines, different kinds of magazines, EPW, because if you say something, it should have some justification, it should have some data facts, but it's not the question and answer session. That is also a personality check. If you are firm, if you are committed, that shows your character. So, and that's the 1 year cycle. I think I haven't satisfied you. What were you expecting? Okay. And most importantly, as I said, you should be doing number of revisions, but keep the subjects which are often prone to forget. For example, for me it was history, so I used to keep 1 day before the exam to history, because at least if it is in the fresh memory, I can go and mark the right questions. So prioritize. Your schedule should be according to your abilities, your disadvantages. So your plan may not work with me, my plan may not work with you, but the scheduling is a very much important aspect of the exam. To sum it up, daily schedule and the horizontal schedule, such a way that you should be knowing what you will be doing after 1 month, 1.5 month, or 2 months. It should cover 3 to 4 times of revision, and 2-3 days before the exam, 1 time revision, so that you go through the important topics, subheadings, you get chronology, and solve as many MCQs as possible, as many questions as possible. Usually people go with the standard definitions that are given by anthropologists. For example, if it is asking, the question is about religion, then it is the ML Durkheim and the elementary forms of religion. That is the book written by him. more specifically the year in which it has been written, and if you are writing in quote, then you should quote what is exactly said by him. You shouldn't be missing even a comma, etc. So that much of precision it is required in the introduction, and in the body you can bring that certain topics of paper 2, anthropology paper 2, and add few examples from newspapers that you can add. But anthropology is majorly a static subject. There won't be much of addition except in certain physical anthropology and archaeology. Even in archaeology, they won't ask directly what has been recently excavated. You can add that recent discoveries in introduction. For example, the Homo erectus has been found in some place. Recently, some fossils have been found in some place. This shows the characteristic of Homo erectus. You can start like this. This is innovative method of writing archaeology questions that can also be replicated with the Stone Age tools, the Acheulean, Abelian tools where it has been recently discovered. So that is the thing you can write, and people also write relevance, the contemporary relevance of these topics in Indian perspective or the world perspective, and in that you can also add about the books that have been written, the recent books and thoughts regarding that. I think it is not hectic because comparison to other optionals, anthropology has limited a very less syllabus, so you can go that much deeper. I don't suggest daily notes making. I always did daily current affairs videos that are available in the YouTube, and I used to follow the same magazine by the end of the month, so that reading magazine itself become a revision for me, and I used to solve current affairs MCQs from different websites where you can get, so that the, solving MCQs is also kind of a revision. So I used to do daily current affairs videos, that is the reading, remaining all part are revisions. So making notes, I haven't done it. I think that won't add much help. As I've said earlier, the morning session used to be for general studies, the static subject, and afternoon, that is from 2 to 5, I used to keep for current affairs magazines. So 2 to 5 is magazines, and 1 hour for the daily current affairs, what has happened that day. So around 4 hours effectively I used to keep, and that afternoon session that is permanently fixed for current affairs. If you're finishing magazine, like my target was 30 pages per day. So if a magazine is around 120 pages, it will be completed in 4 days. So and I don't leave that current affairs space blank. If I completed all the magazines, I go back and start again. If I have completed February, then start from June, come back, June, come back. So it's all about revision and solving MCQs. I don't suggest any optional. That's usually based on our interest, because there are in every optional there is a chance of getting high score, and every optional there is chance of being out of the list. For example, in my first mains that I had written in 2020, anthropology, I had got 178. That is unimaginable for the people who take anthropology. By the time I was taking, people thought of 300 plus, etc. But I had got 178 majorly because of my sources. I kept it the note format what was available in the market. I didn't diversify my knowledge, and question paper also transformed that year only when I was writing mains. So that and all depends upon your interest rather than going by what is happening in the market. Just go through the syllabus, major optional syllabus. You'll get to know what are your interests. At least in the class, you will be able to make out which is your interest. If it is polity, you can go through the political science and international relations, that aspect. Yeah, any doubt? What kind of pressures do you have? Like pressure of syllabus or peer pressure? All situations, okay. I don't know about parents, but with respect to syllabus, I feel that if you see it from outside, if you see it from a distance, it looks like a really huge rock that you have to carry. But if you schedule it, and break it on a daily basis, then I think it's very much possible to cover the syllabus with good clarity. But when you try to lift such a huge stone in a single hand, then it will be a burden. So make sure you make a good schedule based on your capability. To understand your capability, you give one day how much pages you are covering, how many concepts you are covering, then make the schedules based on that. I don't suggest you keep these many days for this subject, because I've been doing that for past few years, and my speed may be different from your speed, and in few of the papers you may take less time than me also. So go through your positives too. And with respect to parents, try to talk to them, convince them that uh, exam is like this, it will be taking a lot of time, daily time, and also there are certain aspects of elements of luck involved in this exam. So um, talk to your parents and convince them regarding this. And if you're very much stressed, then you can do meditations and yoga, and I'm not really good at that.